Just wanted to jump on quickly and tell everybody about something that's happened over the last few weeks. It all goes back to and starts with a documentary that I decided to start filming called This is Digital ID. The whole premise of the documentary was talking about what's happening right now in the UK and what could eventually happen everywhere in the world and what it means for mankind. It looks at the roots and the original idea behind digital ID. It goes back to how national ID cards started in the UK, what's being brought in now and what that could mean for our future. Now, in this documentary, I name names, specific names. I go into great detail about what's going on right now and the agenda behind it. This documentary started filming as something that I was just going to put on YouTube, and I was filming it with my iPhone, and it was all very basic, but it was fun. And then I decided to elevate it, start recording it properly, and do this as a documentary that I would be putting out on Amazon, Apple TV, etc. I started reshooting my parts to camera. I've been to digital ID protests in London and filmed people on the streets and was really getting to the heart of digital ID and what it means for mankind's future and what the general population believes and thinks about digital ID. And then I took myself off for a couple of days to go stay with a friend of the family so I could get some time to concentrate, do some more recording, start editing and really start breaking the back of this documentary. And that's where the weird things started to happen. So first of all, I shoot my parts to camera at this location, and then I go to export the stuff off my camera and put it on my computer, which I do successfully. And then the next day I wake up and the hard drive won't read. And I was like, this is strange, it's not discoverable, couldn't see it on my laptop. The USB connections were fine, everything I've used for a very long time, no issues with it before, and the hard drive fails. And I lose everything. Luckily, I still had all the footage saved on my memory card, so all the color grading and all the work I'd done on all the sound and everything like that had been lost. And the original documentary that I started filming on my iPhone had been lost as well, which was annoying, but I was intending to replace it anyway, so it just meant I had to start from the beginning. I took that as a sign from the universe to say, Digby, stop and do this properly. So I did that. Luckily, I had a second 2 terabyte hard drive with me. Again, I've had it for a number of years, had no issues with it before. So I downloaded all the footage. I spent the next day working on piecing the documentary together, a rough edit, color grading, sound work, everything like that. Everything was going well. And then I couldn't write to that drive anymore. I could take stuff off it, and then everything started crashing and being lost, and files started disappearing. I unplugged the hard drive, I plugged it back in. Again, the same thing happened. The hard drive was all of a sudden undiscoverable, and all my data had been lost. I thought to myself, what are the chances of that? I've never had a hard drive go down in 25, 30 years, ever. And many years ago, I used to work in IT. The likelihood of a hard drive failing is very, very low. And then to have 2 hard drives fail in quick succession, well, in the space of 24 hours, is pretty much unheard of. I ordered a 3rd drive online, 4 terabytes this time, and I started again. I came back home. I've spent several days working on digital ID, piecing it all together, and then a 3rd time in a row, all the information was lost. I had lost the entire documentary, all the footage I shot of myself, all the footage I shot in London at the digital ID protest. I had footage of David Icke, past MPs. All this footage had gone. And I started wondering, what is the likelihood of that happening? 3 hard drives failing within the space of a week, week and a half. in such quick succession. And then my conspiracy mind starts whirring away and thinking, is somebody trying to stop me from getting this out? Am I going too far? Am I saying things that people don't want me to say? Now, this wouldn't surprise me in the UK right now, because as you all know, freedom of speech in the UK right now is under threat. They don't want you to think it is, but it is. They are locking people away for things that they have said. And yes, there are some large cases that have been brought forward in the media that you would say, well, I don't agree with what those people say anyway, and that's fine, and you're allowed to have that opinion, but you're allowed to have that opinion, and that person is also allowed to say what they think. You don't have to listen, and I certainly don't agree with everything everybody says. But freedom of speech in the UK right now is under threat, and the more I think about it, the more I come to the realization that somebody had been in my computer, that Digital ID, the documentary, was erased so that I couldn't put it out. And the reason why I believe this is because a third thing happened. Not only has the data been erased off my hard drives, but the lower resolution versions of the documentary that I had on an unlisted link on YouTube so I could share it with people that I'm working with on the documentary has also been deleted off YouTube. Somebody out there doesn't want this documentary out, but I'm here to say that I won't be stopping. Luckily for me, one of my hard drives has managed to be recovered. At a considerable cost and some very expensive software, I have managed to recover about 95% of the footage that I've already shot. Digital ID will be coming out, and hopefully in the next couple of months.
If you say yes to digital ID, you'll probably never be able to say no to the government ever again. And not just this government, but future governments, you don't even know who's going to be there.
This time I'm playing things a bit closer to my chest. I've got several copies backed up on external hard drives that will not be connected to a PC that is connected to the internet, should this happen again. And I have sent copies of it to people around the world who I know and trust, who will also store backed up copies of this documentary. This is Digital ID, will be out shortly, and I hope you'll all watch it and realise what is going to potentially happen to us here in the UK. And not just that, what's coming to you too soon. Because I don't know about you, but I don't want to live in a dystopian future where the government gets to control every single thing I say, think and do. Thanks everybody, thank you for listening. I hope you've all had a wonderful Christmas. Certainly yesterday when I managed to recover the data for this documentary, it felt like a Christmas miracle. So maybe somebody out there does want me to release this. Take care, God bless, and I'll see you soon. This is Digital ID. How it started, how it's being sold to you, and what your life looks like behind a biometric paywall.
Digital ID, which is an existential threat to us.
I'm standing here today outside the BBC Broadcasting House for today's Digital ID protest.
All right, thank you. Good. Do you mind having a chat for a second?
Have a quick chat.
It's time, long past the time, and I say to anyone across the world who sees this, it's time for the lion to roar!
At a general level, people have got to raise their heads out the sound.